And then it was 19 years this month that I was on the golf course sitting in the car when these people drove in, and they got into the car with me. One sat next to me and one in the back, and the one with the gun at my head through the window. And my husband's keys were in the car. But Psalm 91 has become my psalm that I read every single day. And it says, if you live in the shadow of the Almighty, no harm will come to you, and He will send His angels to protect you. But there again, there's a condition with that psalm. It says, if you live under the shadow. So there again, you cannot call on God's protection if you don't know Him, and if you're not living under the shadow. And they took things, but they got out of the car. The one with the gun then opened the door and threw my head back and put the gun at my throat and told me he was going to kill me. He just left me. And they got in the car and they drove out of the golf course, and the manager of the golf course and the caddy master were on their way to the bank, and they thought they'd kidnapped my husband, so they followed them, and on the highway there was a shootout. So that was the first time that I'd heard of anybody who'd been hijacked, because it hadn't happened to people. And you think, well, that's happened in my life, how much, nothing more can go on. But then 6 years ago, we were at shops, and I'm still convinced that this one young man was in the queue with me at Woolworths. And my son phoned and he said, where were we? And we said, no, we were on our way home. And they followed us, and they drove into the driveway. Also, with guns, my husband went up to pick up the local little paper that had been delivered. And next thing I looked, he was being marched down with a gun. He knew the jewellery I had on, he ripped it off. And the gun was put at my head. And there again, this peace where I knew that because they're very nervous, these people, they're more nervous than you are, and they keep telling you to do things, do this, do that, be quiet, don't shout, don't scream. So the advice to anybody is just be still, just be still. And after I did that, I managed to just say to them, may God bless you, young man. And then I think the miracle of that was about my handbag, where my friend said, was there nothing that I wanted back? And I said, well, wouldn't mind my new glasses back and our medication. And she prayed, and on the Thursday we prayed. It was 2 weeks after that had happened. And on the Saturday morning, the phone rang and this man said, is that Delores Edgerton? I said, yes. He said, I've got your handbag. I said, where did you find it? He said, on the Krugersdorp-Pretoria highway. They'd killed a guinea fowl. He'd hit a guinea fowl. And he had these boulders on the back of the truck, and they hit on the truck, and they said, you must stop. They must go and find this guinea fowl, because it hasn't died, because it's sick, and they want to eat it. Anyhow, they went off. They didn't find the guinea fowl, but they found my handbag. And my husband and I went through, and I met him and his family, and he had my handbag. And everything that we had asked for was in that bag, and it had been lying in the rain, in the veld for 2 weeks. So God is a God of miracles.